Welcome to the home buying experience with Agent-Owned Realty Company. We've been looking and we found the perfect house. Buyers know when they have found the perfect home for them. This is a very exciting time for a buyer, but it is also the time when your agent-owned agent becomes very focused in representing your best interest. Things that we need to consider once you found the perfect house: your contract or offer to purchase, earnest money, homeowners insurance, title insurance, home inspection, CO 100, and the survey. Let's talk about the contract. The contract is a legal document that names the property address, the legal description, and names all individuals involved in the transaction. It specifies in writing the amount of money being offered for the property, the amount of earnest money, and who will hold the earnest money. It also specifies contingency periods and the closing date. Once a contract is completed by your agent-owned agent, it will be delivered to the listing agent, who will present the offer to the seller as soon as possible. The seller may make changes to the original offer and return it as a counteroffer. This can go back and forth until both parties come to an agreement on all terms. Once a mutual agreement is acknowledged by both parties with signatures, time, and date, copies are delivered to each party to the contract. The contract is then considered ratified. Earnest money. When a buyer makes an offer to purchase a property, an earnest money check usually goes with the contract. The earnest money is offered with the contract by the buyer as a good faith gesture and to show the seller that the buyer has genuine intentions. There's no set rule as to the amount of earnest money to be offered, but generally a higher amount of earnest money will be taken more seriously by the seller. And it should be noted here that the earnest money will be applied to your down payment and or closing costs at your closing. As everyone knows, you need to have homeowners insurance on your home. Is the property which I'm considering in a flood zone? If so, which one? And if so, what does this mean to me in dollars? And by the way, what is a flood zone? Is the property in the South Carolina wind and hail pool? Do I need homeowners insurance for the sales price of the home I'm buying? Or do I only need it on the price of the lot? Is homeowners insurance on the lot or the home? These are all questions that I'm sure most people have. Allstate Wally Burbidge and Associates can answer a lot of these questions. It's never too early to start shopping for homeowners insurance. We recommend you start with Allstate Wally Burbidge and Associates. The insurance business is much more complex now than it was in years past. You need an insurance company that is local and understands our market, but also has the financial stability to help you when you need it most. Agent-owned affiliate Allstate Wally Burbidge and Associates can help you protect your home, cars, boats, and much more. They work closely with our agents to find the best coverage for your needs. Title insurance. Do I need title insurance? Yes, you do. Title insurance protects your interest in the property. Part of the preparation for closing by the closing attorney is to perform what is called a title search. This is to verify that the property in question is owned by the individual or individuals that claim to own it. It also proves that the title is clear with no unknown liens or claims to the property. It verifies each time in the past that the home has been sold, that each transaction was properly recorded, and that no exchange was overlooked. So why do I need title insurance again? Well, if someone in the past, a party to the property, was overlooked and claimed that they still own the property or have rights to it through a deceased relative, the title insurance company would defend your rights and ownership of the property on your behalf. Mortgage lenders always require that title insurance be purchased. It's called a lender's title policy to protect their portion of the investment. You should consider owner's title insurance policy to protect your interest. Title insurance protects you. It also protects the land. It is on the land, not the building itself. And reissue credit? What is that? Reissue credit can save you up to 50% of the premium of your title insurance policy. Ask your agent-owned agent to help you see if you qualify and the home that you're purchasing qualifies for reissue credit. Home inspection. All buyers have the right to have a home inspection done on any property they have under contract. And not only have a right, but they really should have the home inspection, even if the property is being sold as is. The inspector will note any defects with the home and also recommend if any further inspections are needed to be done by a specialist. A home inspection can run anywhere from $300 to $1,000 depending on the type and size of the home. A CL 100. Here in the Low Country, it is well known that the termites love our climate. A CL 100 is an inspection of sorts, specifically looking for the present or past presence of termites. This is where the experienced agent on realty can guide and advise you through the process by making repair requests and amendments to the contract as necessary, protecting your best interest. A survey. No matter how new or old the home is, you should get a current survey. Some people will advise you not to get a survey, but you should always get a current survey. The closing. Shortly prior to the closing, the agent-owned agent will be updated daily by the closing attorney and the Residential Mortgage of South Carolina loan officer as to the exact funds needed by the buyer to close the deal. Depending on the type of loan program you have chosen, it may be necessary to bring money to the closing table in addition to the mortgage. Any funds provided by the buyer at closing should be in the form of cashier's check or money order. The closing attorney cannot accept a personal check. At the closing, both buyer and seller are usually present. The closing attorney will provide a HUD-1 statement to both the buyer and the seller and explain in detail where all funds will be distributed. The closing attorney also explains the mortgage documents to the buyer to be sure that the buyer understands fully what is expected of them in repayment of the loan. The closing process normally takes about an hour unless last-minute changes need to be made. At the end, the seller will receive a check from the proceeds of the sale that did not go to pay off any existing mortgages. The agents will receive their commission checks, and the buyer will receive the keys to their new home. What we didn't state is before the closing actually takes place, you will have a walkthrough. Your agent-owned sales associate will schedule a time for you to walk through the property to make sure that the seller, after they moved out, has left everything in the condition it was in when you bought it and that things are as you expected. This is very important. Congratulations on the purchase of your new home. I'm sure you would love to have already purchased your new home, as agent-owned realty would love to have already sold you your new home. As you have seen by our discussion, the agent-owned realty company has all the necessary tools in one location to help your home buying experience be the very best that it can be. Because our agents really do own the company, they take every stage of the home buying process very seriously. Our motto is, expect the service only an owner delivers. Visit our website, call or stop by one of our convenient office locations to learn more about buying a home, agentowned.com, or call our relocation department 1-800-919-2427. And thanks for attending our home buying seminar.